Hi there, we are Lisa and Chris. Please join us aboard our main ship 390, Cool Beans, as we cruise America's Great Loop. Okay, Debbie J, hi Debbie, wants to know, always love watching. My questions are, do you read a lot of books or watch a lot of TV during your downtime? And I'll answer, for me, I'll say yes, I do both. I've read a few books and on this loop in my downtime, and I do watch TV maybe for half an hour to an hour every night if we're in a marina and we have power. And you?
I brought 3 books with me. I've opened one. Not sure I read any of it, but I'll watch TV a little bit at night before I go to bed. You know, that's assuming we have Wi-Fi or if we're on shore power. But I'm really surprised at how little I have read, which is none. You know, compared to what I was expecting.
All right, Leslie says, would love to know how much you're staying in Fort Pierce City Marina. All right, I can answer that because I do all the bookings and the finances. I said it's a trick question. It's normally $3 a foot, but after the first night, we knew we were going to be staying a while, so we converted it to a weekly rate. So all in all, it was a little over $700 for 7 nights. That was the first night we paid full regular price, and then we converted to the lower rate. You know, they charge you per foot, and then they charge you extra for power. So that's just something we've come across. Most marinas do, especially over here in Florida.
And we actually paid for a week, and we only stayed 6 nights.
Right.
But it still worked out cheaper for us.
Yeah. Oh, much cheaper. Yeah. Susan L. says, saw the alligator. Is that the only one you have seen? No, we saw a dead one floating upside down. But yes, that's the only alligator that we laid eyes on.
A little bit early in the year to be seeing very many alligators.
Susan also wants to know, how do you rate the marinas on a scale of 1 to 10 compared to Kima Boardwalk? Which one is the best so far? You want to talk about that?
Sure. Most of the marinas we have stayed at have been really nice. The 2 Point South marinas we stayed at, where were they?
Pensacola and Port St. Joe.
And
Florida.
Port St. Joe.
Mm-hmm.
We were recommended not to go to Port St. Joe. I disagree with that 100%. I highly recommend that marina, and that is a wonderful little town. You are walking distance to I don't know how many restaurants. It doesn't matter what you're hungry for, it's right there.
Yep.
If you're doing the loop and you need a place to stay for a night, that ranks very high on the list. And comparing to Kima Boardwalk Marina, the Point South Marina is maybe a little nicer, but on the same level. And most of the marinas I would give an A+. I would stay at any of them again.
Agreed. We've been really lucky and very fortunate. Dale R. wants to know, how many hours a week do you spend on making the videos? Well, I'll answer that. I do the video making, and I spend about 12 to 15 hours a week. Every day, if I'll just spend 30 minutes to an hour or less uploading what I did that day, it helps, because sometimes I take 50 pictures or videos a day, sometimes I take 2. But on the days that I take 50, just getting those downloaded to my computer and then uploaded to the program that I use, it can take some time. So, and I kind of try to keep everything chronological. So I would say all in all, 12 to 15 hours.
And I spend exactly how many ever minutes you see me on the screen.
Yep. And I do make you watch it and approve it before I post it.
This is true.
Okay. Jeff Slate wants to know, Chris, do you have any fishing gear on that rig?
Of course I do. I did bring the wrong equipment though. I brought inshore rigs for small game fish. I wish I would have brought some trolling equipment for when we did the Gulf crossing. That would have been fantastic.
All right, from George and Judy, they would like to know, why can't you guys go out if it's windy? What are the wind requirements for being safe?
The wind requirements are as little as possible.
Yeah.
No, the biggest issue with the wind is which direction it's coming from. If it's a crosswind and the waves start building, it just becomes a beating when you're taking waves on the beam all day,
Yeah.
which is caused by a crosswind. A headwind, that's the biggest issue with that. It just feels like it's going to blow you out of the boat. You get wind burned, and that becomes an issue. If the winds are trailing you, that's not really that big a deal. But ideally, 10 miles an hour or less would be, ideal.
I agree. They also want to know about all the noises we've encountered. And, it's funny, we're answering this today. Last night, I could not sleep. I had a really hard time sleeping because we were at the marina. There was this really heavy current, and our back stern line just squeaks, and I guess the boat was just being pulled, and then it would go back, it would be pulled, and it was just a constant, like a squeaky, scrapey kind of noise. I know it's not scraping, and you've talked about the fenders hitting the boat, so that's kind of a noise. Yeah. And sometimes, like if we're anchored out and there's waves that are kind of lapping, our berth is in the bow of the boat, so kind of we take waves on the bow, maybe a little bit harder or
I never
louder.
hear them.
You don't hear them, and I generally don't. Just depends. And then during the Gulf crossing, we heard something that was really strange, but it was just dolphin.
After hours of nothing.
Yeah.
4 or 5 in the morning, a dolphin decides to surface and wave at us and squawk. I'm not sure what they do.
I don't know, but yeah, it was.
After hours of silence, it was pretty startling.
It was. And what happened with the iPhone?
The iPhone decided to quit working.
Yes.
And that's basically the only way I can answer it. We took it to the AT&T store, very little help. So we bought another one. And then the next day we went to a cell phone repair place, and that guy was fantastic. He had us in and out of there just a little while, and so now we have a spare.
Yep. Okay, our last set of questions. Eric and Kathy on Never Easy. We know them. Hi. We would like to know your favorite 3 anchorages on the west coast of Florida. So I wrote down the number 1 favorite to me was Southmouth. Do you agree?
That was nice. That was not my favorite.
It wasn't?
No.
Okay. What was your favorite?
I don't remember the name of it, where we saw the fantastic sunset and the houses were right behind us.
Sarasota Bay? That's number 2.
Yes.
Okay. It's number 2, Sarasota Bay. And those are the only anchorages we did in west coast of Florida. But if you want to know a third, a lot of people anchor out at Dog Island.
That we did not anchor, like
No.
she said. We stayed in Carabel, but that would be a fantastic anchorage. You're protected from all sides.
Yep.
And when you wake up or whenever you decide to leave for the crossing, you're an hour closer.
Yeah, that looked good. All right. Last set of questions from Presley B. What has been your experience cooking on the boat? I'll answer that. It's been good. I don't have a lot of counter space, but I do have a stovetop with 3 burners that I use. I brought a rice cooker that I use all the time. I brought a little crock pot, which I've used many times. And I bought a 4-in-1 air fryer, oven, toaster, and convection oven, I think. It's just a little oven that I use
It's about
almost
the size
every day.
about the size of a toaster oven.
Yeah, I love it.
It's been fantastic.
Yep. So per Presley's request, also, I'm going to do, and Kim and Todd want to know about cooking on the boat. We're going to do a little segment of me cooking something on the boat, I think. I think it'd be interesting for y'all to see. Don't have a lot of counter space, but I make it work. She says, have you been fishing since you started the loop? I think Zach asked that question.
Very little, but I've fished a little.
Yeah, haven't caught anything.
No success.
This is such a good question. What do you miss the most about living in a house?
And it's funny that we were just talking about cooking. I miss my kitchen. When we're home, I do a lot of the cooking, and I really enjoy it. And actually, the more people, the better. Mm-hmm. And with this micro kitchen, I feel like making hot dogs is a major task.
Which we have named. I'll answer. What I miss most about living in a house is my king size bed. I miss it so much. We've made do with our bed down there. It's not quite a queen, but I do miss our king size bed. Have you found a new favorite food or drink since being on the loop? And no, I haven't.
I don't think that I have either.
I read on a Facebook post about right before we left that said, you'll probably do best if you cook what you're used to eating. Whatever you cook at home is probably what you'll end up cooking on the loop. And that's true. I mean, we eat pretty much what we eat at home. But I haven't found anything yummy yet. What do you do in your free time? So basically we explore the town that we're in. If we get there early enough and there's things that we want to do, we go explore. We plan our next day's route. We do boat maintenance in our free time. If we're at anchor and we don't have power, we'll play cards, we'll play gin rummy, listen to some music. I work on videos in our spare time, watch TV, and I've read a few books so far. And you? Same?
That's
Anything
what
else?
we do.
Yeah, that's what we do. Well, that concludes the questions that we got. We've gotten a lot of other questions, but I think I've answered them. This was early on YouTube. But, if you want to know something else, continue to ask and I'll answer it.
If we didn't cover it, let us know.
Let us know, and you'll get back to John on the percentage of
offshore, inshore,
water.
rivers, lakes. That's a great question, and we will get that answered.
And one more thing before we say goodbye. A lot of you have requested a tour of Cool Beans. We are totally going to do that. We are going home for 4th of July, so we're going to dock our boat and go home. So I think that I'll do the tour and I'll post it. I'll upload it while we're gone so that there's still some content. I hope that's not too late for everybody, but that'll be in a few months. But yeah, anything else you want to say?
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everybody.